Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Mr.Fred and Friends. I'm your host, Fred Schultz, and I'm glad you're joining us tonight. I've got a couple of great guys on here tonight. It's really funny. The two guys that got on here tonight, I obviously can read the crawl, so you can see it's Andy Stret and Steve McGuire. They're my two biggest critics when it comes to my monologue. So, I got to tell you, I sit there and I tell myself, it takes a lot of balls to put these guys on together at the same time and then do your monologue. But, there's a fine line between having big balls and being dumb. So I don't know where I fall in between there someplace. But, I got to tell you, I'm going to have them on and I'm going to enjoy it because these are two of the coolest guys you'll ever want to meet. We're going to talk a lot about what just happened. We got a lot of events just happened. There's a lot of events coming up here pretty quick too. So we're looking forward to it. It should be a pretty cool show. I haven't talked to Steve in quite a while. And Andy, Andy's busier than a one-legged man in a butt-kicking contest. So he's always running around taking care of things, trying to help people out. So I think it's pretty cool. So let me get through this stuff real quick so I can drag these guys out and we can shorten the monologue down a little bit, because I told Steve, I had Steve in the green room, and I says, I said, the show's going to start pretty soon. He goes, okay, so I'm going to go catch a movie, and then I'll be back. Your monologue should be done. So that was kind of a kick, but I can take it. So, first of all, I want to congratulate Dan Colby and Steve Prisco. They had the first of the WCPL tournaments down there at Panhandle Paintball, and it was great. I have seen so many posts from different people that actually attended it. What a great time they had. I got to tell you, Steve and Danny, you guys did a terrific job. I'm very, very, very proud of you. It was absolutely great. Now, the next one coming up is actually going to be a new one that I'm holding, and it's going to be up in Wisconsin. So, it's going to be at Commando Paintball up there. And I am really, really looking forward to it. Eileen D is watching, or her husband Tom, one or the other. I understand he steals her phone. But they attended the tournament down there at Panhandle Paintball. And I got to tell you, I love Tommy Cole. Tommy Cole's a great guy. And they had a tournament at the same time up there in up north someplace, up by New Jersey or something. And anyhow, make a long story short, all the teams and everybody that attends something like that, you would think that there would be a little more posts out there about it. Julianne, how you doing, sweetie? But, I see a lot of posts. Whenever a WCPL tournament happens, I see a lot of posts out there right away about it. Danny and Steve's tournament, I've been reading all kinds of posts about what a great time it was, and everybody had a good time, other than it rained a little bit on the first day. But, that's paintball. That's how it is. So, it just tells me that, the people that attend our events really enjoy it. So I'm hoping that the Wisconsin one, which I believe is going to be very, very good also. It's a terrific field. I got Kevin Yeager giving me a hand. He had a operation on his foot, and he's still out there working hard to make the field perfect. And they've been sending me pictures, and it's been absolutely great. I made the cutoff at 10 teams. I've got 8 teams now, and we just started actually publicizing it because I didn't want to step on Danny and Steve's toes until after the Panhandle Paintball tournament was done down there in Florida. So now I'm pushing it. We're going to go 2 more teams. We're going to shoot some great Vulcan paint. We're going to have a great, great time. I'm going to make sure of it. And I am really looking forward to going up to Wisconsin and doing that. And then right after that one, we have Jim Lively is going to do one up in Oregon, and it's the Gold Rush Classic, and it is going to be September 6th and 7th. And it's a 7-man tournament, and I made the cutoff for 18 teams. Last I heard there was 15 or 16, so there's still a couple slots left. You're going to want to jump on board. That's going to be a good time. It's at a great field up there, up in Molalla, Oregon. And I'm looking forward to it. And I'm going to be up there hanging out. He's going to have a barbecue that Saturday evening. And we're going to have just some of the coolest people there. You aren't even going to believe it. It's going to be Mike Cassidy of Phantom Paintball Marker is actually going to be there doing the barbecues. So it should be a lot of fun. And he's going to have we're going to have a big raffle. It should be pretty cool. If you get a chance, 6th and 7th up in Malala, Oregon, get a hold of Jim, get a hold of jump online for Gold Rush Paintball Tournament. You're going to absolutely love it. And it's under the wing of the WCPL. So we're very happy to have him do that under our wing. And then obviously, last but not least, is going to be October 11th and 12th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, actually, the 11th and 12th. And it's going to be at Tim Schloss's Gateway Paintball in St. Louis. And everybody will be there. You're going to want to go check it out. It's absolutely cool. And you're going to have a great time. Last year, the year before, it's just been nothing but fun. The field is great. The repping's been good. The paint's been shooting excellent. And the host is terrific. You'd absolutely love it. Take my word for it. In October, be up in St. Louis. Great, great time. A couple things I want to mention real quick before I drag my guests out here. PBSL North is having it's going to be, I don't know what you want to call it. I'm going to call it a memorial game. And it's for Cecil De La Reyes, who passed away. And it's at Ambush Paintball, May 18th. And so if you get a chance, you're going to want to go down there. And PBSL is one of the coolest leagues that there is in the sport of paintball. And they're doing it for a great, great cause. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to do that. And then we're going to talk about the LA Remember Foundation. You know, they're going to June 29th at Dynamic Paintball in Colorado. I'm not going to talk a lot about it because we've actually got the guy that's going to put that on here tonight, Andy Starrett. So that's something I'm looking forward to. And we're hoping that we draw a lot of people in for a great cause because, you know, the more Andy makes for that foundation, the more people he gets to help. Now, you know, if you want paintball to be seen in a great light, you help people outside of the sport of paintball and other people that don't play paintball see it, and it makes them curious about our sport. It really, really brings a good light to the sport of paintball. So we'll talk a lot about that tonight when I bring Andy out here. And then I want to mention the Decay of Nations, one of the coolest big games all year. As you can see, I've got my shirt from last year, and this is down at SC Village. And Gio and Zayla, his general manager, put on a great show. And Bud and I will be down there again this year going live. We went live last year, and we had a terrific, terrific time. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to be down there for that. That's September 27th and 28th, SC Village. Great, great place to be. And then my shout outs real quick. And the reason I give these shout outs is because these are the people that worked their butts off at the very beginning of this, when paintball was kind of in its incubation form. You know, it was going, but it was stagnant. And these guys really brought it to life and did a great job. And I start every week with Mr. Tim Schloss, my buddy from St. Louis. He has Gateway Paintball there. He has Tiger Stripe Camouflage. Great, great guy. You're going to love it. I'm going to blow through these names quickly because I see Steve's tapping his foot. I can hear him all the way up in Canada tapping his foot. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to hurry. So, and then Dan and John Colby, Immortal Air, back in the day, Air America. Bud Orr, my little buddy, Or Game Products. Tom Kay, Airgun Designs, Rainy Juby Boucher, Paintball News. Randy Camilla was the editor for APG Magazine. Jerry Braun, real quick, yesterday was Jerry Braun's birthday. I'm not really sure of his age. Someone told me it was like 147, but I'm not really sure. But, you know, I mean, it could be. He looked at. But, you know, Jerry, you and I have been friends for 40 years. And he just shut down Paintball Sports Field out there, probably the oldest paintball, woods ball paintball field in the United States and maybe even anywhere. So, you know, that's kind of a heartbreak. But, you know, Jerry, we appreciate all the years of service to the sport of paintball. Everything that you've done has been absolutely terrific, and we love you. And then Ross Alexander, my very first marker sponsor, Line SI. And oh my gosh, Jim Lively, I got to mention him again. Jim is going to be doing the tournament up there in Malala, Oregon. So if you get a chance, you're going to want to go do that. That's going to be pretty cool. That should be a lot of fun. 7-man tournament. And then Gino, I mentioned Gino from Belkin every week because he's my buddy. He does an awful lot of things behind the scenes for the sport of paintball. And I like the guy, period. Cut and dry. Now, my two little buddies, my young guns, Mark Gong Jr. and Jaden Gong. Two great, great kids. All right. Well, I got that nailed out there. Not too bad. Let me see. I think I broke my record, 12 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I got to wake this guy up now because I went a little long in my monologue. But, it is what it is. So please, everybody, welcome the guy that started the Unknown Paintball Podcast. I'm sure he's going to correct me on that, too. But he's such a perfectionist. Anyhow, please, everybody, welcome Mr. Steve McGuire. What's going on, Steve?
Hey, Fred. So it's Popular Unknown Paintball Podcast, which you missed. And you also missed that my name has a G in it, not a Q.
You know what? But you know what?
You did it on purpose. I know. Just
between you and you got Starrett. It's got 2 R's and 2 T's in his name. There's only 7, 8 letters, and 4 of them are anyhow. It's
he's probably one of the few people that is as tall as you, if not taller. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh, he's a big goomer.
Right?
That's why
so you get him right, but me.
Yeah. I don't.
Screw the Canadian. He's in another country. Just to heck with him.
Did Andy tell you I said that?
No.
Oh, anyhow,
I just know both of you too well.
Yeah, I like playing. I like playing paintball with Andy, but I don't play alongside of him. I play behind him because man, that guy can take a lot of shots. He can get me to a bunker. I love it. So speaking of him, what do you say we drag him out here real quick? And I know you're not going to tease him like you teased me, but that's okay.
I tease him just as much, if not more.
I've got some great people watch right now. I got Kevin Yeager. I want to mention Kevin. Kevin is helping me with the tournament there in Wisconsin, and he had a operation on his foot. He's still been going out there and working on the woods ball field. It is looking absolutely terrific. Absolutely love it. So please,
everybody,
welcome.
Do you want me to help you with that logo, by the way? Your Wisconsin logo? Because I did the stuff for Jim Lively, right?
Yeah, you sure could. Yeah, I'd appreciate it.
I'll take a swing at it later.
Okay, yeah. I've got a partial thing I've got going. I just, me. I throw stuff together, and if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
It never happened.
Yeah, I know. So please, everybody, welcome our other little buddy, a guy that has a terrific foundation. Please, everybody, welcome Mr. Andy Starrett. What's going on, Andy?
Here, Cap, you need some tissues before you cry about your monologue?
I keep my own right here.
Okay.
Something told me I had you two on
cookies
tonight. Yeah, I should probably bring a bath towel, but anyhow, it is what it is.
Well, when you get to a certain age, incontinency can be a problem.
Yeah, and speaking that word can be too. But anyhow,
Sure.
Yeah. So Andy, you guys just had an event there already, haven't you?
We did.
Yeah. How did it looked like a fun time? I seen it on the internet.
You're talking about the birthday party for one of the kids that we support locally. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, she's the one that almost died during Christmas. That domestic violence survivor. Well, her mom was sadly no longer with us, but her 5 siblings, but the 3 of them live here in Colorado. So yeah, she's back on the road to recovery and all that after months in Children's Hospital and all that. So hey, we took our brothers out to do paintball and ride on bikes with the Punishers and all that for their birthday because they're twins. So it was 2 for the price of 1. But yeah, we did a thing at a local family fun center for her and got her the cheesecake that she wanted and let her invite a bunch of friends over and everything and send them all out to wreak havoc and go-karts and laser tag and everything else. Well, we did go play putt-putt. So
wow,
the one on my back of my jersey holds true because I kicked Tom and everybody else's asses at putt-putt. So,
I was looking at those pictures. Cool. All I could think of was that scene in the movie Air America with Mel Gibson and
the other guy.
Iron Man. What? Anyway, watch Air
Downey
America.
Jr.
You'll know what I'm
Downey
talking
Jr.
about.
Downey Jr.
That's the one.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, Andy, I'm looking forward to the June 29th one that you're going to have up there at Dynamic Paintball, and because Mike, his field is great. He's a great guy too. I like him an awful lot. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. He what?
I said it'll look even different now with the 2 speedball fields, the sort of like hyperball. It's more like the big plastic bricks Lego field. That's now up and going, and of course he's constantly changing the rec fields. So yeah.
He still has the bus field, right?
Yes, buses are still out there. Yes.
Okay, cool.
Those will probably never leave.
Yeah, no. I'm not moving them.
I'm not.
So
how's it looking for that right now?
It's looking good. We got the 3-man that'll happen. There'll be some raffle prizes that'll be going on during that day. I do have some stuff I'm working on more for doing our auction. Although we do have the Goats, which is one of our chapter teams and one of the dynamic camp teams. They are going to be, I'll get it launched on our page too, but they're raffling off a Fire and Ice Planet Eclipse marker.
That thing's wild.
Yeah. I picked it up from one of the one of B's retired Destiny players. Slightly used. I think they only made 10 of them.
Wheeze!
There's Wheeze! And Wheeze will be at the event too. And then we sent it over to Caesar. And Caesar, ripped it apart and did his whole boom treatment and tune up and all of that and sent it back. So it might be used, but it's kind of like brand new at this point after Caesar touches it. So that'll be going
I gotta tell you.
Raffle.
Yeah, when he puts the boom treatment on those markers, he did it to my autococker. It's amazing. Yeah, he has. Oh yeah, it's just amazing how smooth everything runs. It's just incredible.
That's why our 180Rs that we run, when we're out playing, they shoot faster than the Predators because I let those guys shoot it. We're in St. Louis. They're like, "What the?" I'm like, "Yeah, mine's faster than yours." And you're the factory team.
There you go. Yeah.
I've got a shocker that's done by Caesar. I've got actually that autococker right there was done by Caesar. I've got an EMEC done by Caesar. My mag was done by Caesar. Highly recommend. Cliff, there's a legend. Cliff's a legend.
You know what? He's not only a legend. I'll tell you what he is, and he's like Andy. He's a great guy because he goes to the hospitals when kids, want a wizard or a pirate, and the guy looks more like the wizards than the damn wizards in the movie. It's incredible. And I told him I love him because I'm afraid he's going to cast a spell on me.
It's also moderately disturbing at times. Just saying.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. But the way I understand it is he is one of the best reps out there too. He's been doing it for a long time.
He was,
but I like what he does for the kids. I think it's great.
Yeah, correct. He can correct me if I'm wrong, but he was the first international paintball reffing team, and it was Discipline Lords, not to be confused with the Lords of Discipline, and based out of Canada. And I was actually one of his Discipline Lords for a while, and I traveled back and forth. I helped ref with at Hell Survivors with him, at EMR with him. He started a reffing school there for a while that wasn't really super successful, but it started the trend to make reffing a little more professional. Like he started pushing that way.
That's one of the most thankless jobs too.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, I've reffed on both sides of the ocean, and you know, I actually got more respect over there in England than I did here, but it's not an easy job. Absolutely. You know, I mean, the only people that love you are the first place teams. everybody else has nothing but gripe about it. So it's a very thankless job. But you know what? There is nothing worse than going out and losing a tournament because of bad reffing or bad paint. That is two things that can just absolutely kill a tournament.
Absolutely. But yeah, no, it was really fun working with Cliff. It's an experience I will never forget, and I know that there's a bunch of people out there that feel the same way I do. I know that when I'm reading comments in big games, things like that, he is sorely missed at a lot of the larger events because he brought a certain professionalism to him, especially to big games. He was an excellent tournament ref. Don't get me wrong. I am in no way, shape, or form taking anything away from him in that respect, but he really, really, really excelled as a big game ref.
Yeah. Plus, it's a good guy. Like I say, you know, when people do things just like Andy, you know, it's you probably will never know how many people that he actually brought into the sport from doing things to help other people. You know, people that don't play paintball, they'll see that happening and they'll find out that you're affiliated with paintball and they'll go, wow, if paintball players are that good and want to help other people, I got to give that a shot. So, you know, Andy, you know, you did the same thing.
Did you know Andy is a Masters champion?
He's a what?
Did you know Andy's a Masters champion?
Oh, really? I didn't know you played chess.
No, it was.
No, I got you.
Tennis. No, it was the Masters that giant trophy in your basement, isn't it, Andy?
Yeah, it was the 1990 International Masters Jim Lively event.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, I still got my patches. I was at all of them bad boys. What team did you play with?
Oh, I ran Surge.
Oh, okay.
We won the event.
Oh, all right.
We won the
Those
event.
Guys.
We reffed the 3-man on top of playing 5-man and winning that to help Jim out. So, yeah, it was a good time.
Hey, were you out there at Jim's tournament that year that we did the 5-man? Because the 5-man was always before the 15-man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, there was a 15-man. When we started, the first time I played, it was 15-man, period. Jim Lively's tournament.
Back in like the 60s.
No, that was like the 80s. I think 88.
Yeah, it was 7-man in 1999.
Yeah, did you by any chance check out the rain? Were you there that year that the 5-man, it rained that day? And it rained so hard that you couldn't shoot. It was breaking the paintballs. That's how hard it was raining.
That was Sunday. Yes, we were playing in that.
That was incredible.
The only time I've ever actually shot from down the hill, because we were in the valley field, shooting at a guy that you normally couldn't hit, but the rain was so hard the balls started curving. And so I just one random shot and I see this ball just corkscrew down the hill and just right over his bunker into the top of the head. Never do that again, but hey, that was a great shot.
Yeah, that I'll never forget that. That was one heck of a rainstorm.
Yep.
But anyhow, yeah, I had some good times back there. You know, I got all my patches. I got every one of those that I did, I've got the patches, and I've never sold them on anything. I usually get about 3-4 patches. And so I still got all my patches from that. I got literally hundreds of patches. So, you should have some patches made for the LA Remember thing when we go there. That'd be pretty cool.
We have LA Remembered patches. Yeah, you have some.
No. I mean for the event. It's on the 29th.
Oh, yeah, like a patch for the event?
Yeah, or have Mike make them, for his field.
Yeah, we usually do like poker chips, everything else.
Oh, I don't know if I got one of those or not. That's pretty cool.
Some of them, because we were handing them out to the kids at World Cup.
Yeah, we got Golden Eagle watching us.
Yeah. Hey, Karen.
What's up, buddy?
I can't call him Golden Eagle. I can't do it. That's a Honda motorcycle. I just can't do it.
I'm kind of that way too. Only Honda rides a Honda, or Fonda rides a Honda, or whatever it was. Yeah, I'm a Harley guy. So, but it is what it is.
Come out in August and do the. So bring your Harley out in August and do the ride against domestic violence with us with the Punisher's law enforcement motorcycle.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I've seen that, and I just right now I'm so busy. This is my old bike. I got a new one now, but this is my other one.
Oh, there you go.
Nice. Well,
with this Fonzie haircut.
I'm not completely familiar with motorcycle models. So
that's an FXSTS. It's a Springer model.
A Springer.
Yep, and you see my air cleaner. That was 24 karat gold plated. It was a bad scooter. I loved it. So, but then I got sick of it and got rid of it, and now I got a dyno, and I like it. It's great. It runs really good. So, but yeah, I know you do a lot with the Punishers, and I know, Andy, that the Punishers just lost one of their very, very good guys a while back, and then on top of that, his stepdaughter also passed. That was very, very sad. So
yeah, it was a bad wreck. We just did his funeral and fight. He was part of the actual foundation, paintball player, all of that too. So now his stepson is going to be coming out more, playing with us. He'd been out, I think, once before, but now he's like, I'm going to go use all of his stuff. We're like, yeah, bring it. And
there you go.
We'll get you more stuff and get you out playing.
And he did a lot behind the scenes, didn't he, Andy?
Yeah.
Like nobody knows how much he really did.
Well, not even the whole Punishers organization knows, because unfortunately he passed right before we were about to break it to him on the new action packs, on the go bags that we've got for domestic violence survivors. He was the one that spearheaded all of that with Project Helping and Us, and now we're going to rename that bag and honor him with all that. And then I'd even asked Brooklyn's volleyball team to give us some names Friday when we were doing the memorial for the prom and the homecoming thing. So, Fred's always talking about, like the stuff we do and for paintball and all that. And then you haven't even seen what we're about ready to, or we've already launched. That is going to probably push more people to the sport, at least hopefully locally, but we can make this a nationwide thing. We'll be in good shape. But we have a new program now called Operation Prom Prosperity and Homecoming Heroes. We're going to honor Brooklyn with that a little bit too, but because teens and teen dating violence is part of what we try to educate and promote and, or do things that help people and all that, not just adults. Teens are the big thing with the foundation, but I was sitting there at dinner a couple weeks back and all these kids were coming in for prom. And I walked into the bathroom to go, and this one kid was in there and we were washing our hands, and I was like, was it prom night? And he's like, yeah, it's prom, man. We're all excited and everything. Really nice, well-mannered, totally respectable kid. in his answer and everything. So we walked out. I sat back down and paid their bill. And,
All right.
So it wasn't like he was nice or anything, but paid their bill, told their waiter, just say it's from the Alley Remembered Foundation. Well, he did that, but then he pointed me out. They're over at the table.
What was that, Andy?
And so the waiter pointed out who I was that paid the bill. So they came over to the table and they were thanking us and everything else. And we didn't take pictures. We didn't make any big deal of it and everything. We left. Well, later on, I was like, wait a minute. Why don't we do more of this? And for high school kids, because that's part of that target audience with the teen dating violence thing that we're fixing. So we came up with the idea for these two. And prom's kind of over now in the U.S. Homecoming will be coming up here in months away. So we're going to start doing a little with these programs. We're going to open this up. We'll do Colorado, but if we get some other people in some other states, start getting some main sponsors and stuff, hopefully to back it and open it up even more around the country. But it will basically be, there'll be a nomination form on the site. You can go and nominate yourself, nominate your peers. There'll be some questions that go answer in that nomination that are kind of like community driven. What have you done to help friends? Things like that. So we can get an idea of, at least they're probably good people. We'll gather those in. We'll go and pick some winners, and then we will award them for, if it's like a male that we pick, he'll get the free tux. His date will help buy the dress. We'll take care of the corsage and the boutonniere, the dinner for both of them, the event tickets, and then we're working on limo sponsors as well to get them to the dance. And all of that is a prize package just for being, decent teens and out doing stuff for their communities, or being recognized by peers, whatever it might be. And then we're going to send out like locally here next Saturday. We'll do it because there's still a couple of proms left for some high schools here. And we'll do it for homecoming. We're sending out members of our chapter teams that are contracted by Alley Remembered to go out and find kids that are out on dates for these 2 proms coming up, to do what I did and pay for their dinners, hand them a card that has, hey, that's kind of what this is. It's Alley Remembered. I'm making the thing up right now. Points them to our website and to our pledge and some different things. And on the back, it's got a coupon for dynamic paintball. So they'll get a 25% off if they bring 2 or more, and we'll probably do a free for whoever holds the card. They'll get their free day of play with their gun rental, air 500 paintballs and stuff like that to push them back over to Mike's Field at Dynamic. So
very cool.
There you go. Bring some more paintball to it. But if I can get more local, or not local, but other fields in other areas, because obviously high schools are everywhere, that want to come on board with this kind of thing and help us get with those schools, try to help us get more and more corporate sponsors onto this thing, we can build it into something big. And of course, we have it tied into paintball in the back end for some after prom fun, obviously. So it's up, it's running. It's on the website. You can go to the alleyremembered.org, go to our programs. You'll see the homecoming and prom thing on there. And we'll see what we can make of this and what we can bring back to our field here at Dynamic and get other fields involved around the country.
Yeah, that's I think that's absolutely very cool. And what I was talking about earlier, is when people see this that don't play paintball, there's so many different ways that you can reach people to tell them about your sport and still help people, exactly like what you're doing. Same thing Cliff does, when he goes and he visits a sick kid or something like that. The parents are the parents will find out that Cliff's a paintballer, and that's how you promote the sport. And that's something I've been preaching for years.
Well, that's why our chapter guys will have that card. So if they go in and there's Steve and his date, sitting at a table, and they kind of walk up, talk to them, and they seem like they're friendly and respectable. They give them that card. They pay for their dinner. Part of that, there's a thing on the card that says, "Hey, all we ask is that you tag us on social media and tag Allie Remembered in Dynamic Paintball," which they can they're undercover, but they can be like, "Hey, can we up? Would you tag us?" And if they're like, "Yeah, I got social media. I got Facebook or TikTok or whatever," like, "Hey, let's we can help you do that right now," because they can make kind of sure secretly that they got the right tags in there and maybe help take the picture at the table. But as soon as they get tagged with that, or they tag us, or they go back and put their social media on, now that's tagged, and now you've got these high school students that probably aren't paintball players that are now tagging stuff. And then of course they flip it over and there's this coupon to go play and be like, "Well, hey, let's go try this. I get a free pass and I can bring some buddies for a discount. Let's go out there and play." Next thing you know, hopefully they're showing up at the field. Mom and dad see that, like, "What just happened? This nonprofit paid for your dinner last night," type thing. And it's a repetitive peer-to-peer type of undercover campaign with just the buying of the dinners.
Yep.
But the big winner one that we'll do, that we'll push through the school districts and stuff and try to get the school districts getting it out through so they can do all of that. So that's a bigger one, because obviously that's not just dinner. That's a much bigger prize package. But hey, kids that we select are obviously deserving of having us take care of them.
There you go. Yep.
All we're looking at in the back end is that maybe they'll go look at the pledge, or maybe they'll go read the teen dating violence information on our website, and it'll open some eyes, and maybe they'll give that to a friend or something, because we don't want to shove it down their throats. But we're putting it out there with here's some stuff and here's what we do type of subliminal pass it through, and oh, by the way, you can come play paintball after you're all done.
There you go.
There you go.
And who doesn't love paintball? And the thing is, especially they go out there with a bunch of their friends, it always draws them back, because once the game's over, you're going to be in the car on the way home going, "Yeah, I could have took you if I'd have did this." That's just how that works. But building paintball is not only a good thing, but the way you do it on the outside, working it in. I wish more people in the sport of paintball. Everybody. The problem with paintball, and it's been this way for a lot of years, is everybody wants their piece of the pie. And
Sure.
They don't understand that if everybody worked together and you worked in conjunction with each other, the pie'd be so big that your piece of pie would be huge. But you can never sell that idea. It's people just for some reason just don't get it. They want their 15 minutes of fame, and and they don't care how they get it. It's immaterial. Go ahead, Steve. Yeah.
I think that the reason why, because if you think about it, the whole point of paintball is dominating other people. Like, it's just like you're going out there and you're spanking them. Like that's the whole joy of paintball. And when you get
Sounds
that
like
sort
marriage,
of
too. But anyhow, yeah, go ahead.
But when you get into paintball, people want to control, they want to be in charge, they want to lead, and everybody has a different idea of what the ideal is. And it takes a certain kind of person to be able to acknowledge other good ideas. So that's always going to be a part of paintball. I think that's just because that's the nature of paintball. The whole point is to go smacking people. But if you guys don't mind, I'm going to rewind a little bit, because there's the survivor bags that Andy was talking about. And I would just like to tell you, Fred, that Andy was very, very mean to me. Very, very mean. Because
all right. The text in the mail, Andy.
The Allie Remembered Foundation is ARF. And when you put that together, you get ARF. And I wanted to name them ARF bags, because that's funny, Paul. But he wouldn't let me, and he called me very bad names.
No, I didn't.
Right on, Andy. No, don't be shy. I love it.
He's on the board.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he is bored.
Most people don't know that, but I am on the Ali Remembered Foundation board. I was just put on recently.
Yep.
Very, very
We
cool.
can throw in all the 2 cents he wants, but everybody else has to vote on it. But that was like, yeah, we're gonna rename it, to honor Brian that basically came up with the whole thing. So
no,
yeah,
I totally get it. But before that happened, I wanted to call them ARF bags because that's just funny.
Right, kind of like a barf bag.
Exactly.
There you go.
Just missing the B.
How did that accident happen? I heard they were on. He went and picked his daughter up at soccer. They were on their way home from his soccer game.
Volleyball practice, and they were on his
Volleyball.
motorcycle.
Oh,
yeah, on the way home, and a 17-year-old kid, not paying attention, pulled out and basically hit him for that. So he got arrested and everything, and he's looking at charges for, I don't know what they're charging him with, but he got arrested.
Yeah,
with all that, he wasn't paying attention, distracted driving, and just flat out. I don't know if he ran the intersection. I really didn't ask because I really didn't care.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff's just irrelevant. I got a member of our foundation's gone, and his stepdaughter, and 2 amazing people no longer with us that didn't deserve it, obviously. But
that was a hard few days.
Well, we'll get more of the details when the time is right on all of that, and maybe do a little distracted driving type thing or something. That's why we're changing the names and some stuff, just honor their memory.
That's cool. No, that's outstanding. It really, really is.
Yeah, so he was a firefighter and everything else. So sucks.
Yeah, I don't know if are you familiar with the Punishers Motorcycle Club?
I am a little bit, not a lot. What I know about them has been through Andy and the Eagle, the Golden Eagle.
Most of them are first responders of one.
Correct. That I knew. Yeah.
One or another.
Police officer and fire. Yep.
Yeah, but there's others as well. There's military and ambulance and stuff. Super cool guys. When I got to do some photography with them that one year, that was so much fun. They
still ask about you too every year. It's like, Steve coming? I'm like,
I want to go. It's just I got
stuff. No, the Canadian government
here.
Locked him up and put him in the gulag, and we don't know exactly where he's at. And I think the Navy SEALs are going in to get him, but I'm not sure.
I'd like to see you come down for Andy's event on the 29th. That would be cool as heck.
Well, if you want to talk after the fact, I've just got some responsibilities I have to take care of up here before I can make that happen. I had some lines up, and I honestly thought that I was gonna be good to go by the end of this month, but unfortunately, my plans didn't work out, and that's just the way life goes. And so now I'm looking for Plan B.
Well, maybe Andy and I can work on getting you down here. So, you're not ashamed to hitchhike, are you?
No.
Okay.
No. Ask Andy. I am not proud. I'm a lot of things. Proud ain't one of them.
Wow. Yeah, we got Damon Baker watching us right now. Also has a Fred Schultz prototype Hormesis band. Wow. Pretty cool.
Nice.
No,
we haven't discussed the drama, and I don't think we're going to tonight. I mean, Fred, it's your show. You can discuss it if you want, but I think we all know Nazi's bad. So
the NHL just put out a statement about it too. If you didn't, see
about what?
So Dan, I forget his last name. He had Nazi logos engraved on his marker,
Eclipse marker that,
and he's got a lot of things that are very.
No. I didn't hear about that.
It's exploding over the last 2 days.
Big time.
He's.
I don't get on the internet that much. I get on. I see who messaged me, and then I see and just like I got you guys might show Paul Farrell is the very first person every week go ahead and jump on my show. So I am sending him this. This is one of the Fred Schultz J&J barrels. Let me see if I can get it up there. Anyhow,
Fred, it's excellent, but all we can see is plastic.
Yeah, I know it, because it's still the original wrapper. There's the logo right there. This is the original wrapper from Joe West. And it's like, I don't know, about 28 years old. So anyhow, I'm sending this to him. He's the first guy to jump on my show every week to say hi.
How many?
So
how many of those do you still have?
I haven't got a lot. I've got maybe 5 or 6, and that's about it. But
Do you have
the guy's been doing it for years. He's been jumping on instantly when my show starts, and it's just, it's not so much loyalty. It's just, he doesn't. It's a guy that doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to take the time to jump on to say hi or anything like that. He just does it out of being nice. So that's the reason I'm sending it to him, is because I think he's a great guy. And that's pretty cool. I got some other ones up there. I've got he got a hold of me, and there was one. He had a barrel. It says it's got a Fred Schultz sleeve on it, and those were made years ago by Joe West, and it was a sleeve that slid over the top, and it was engraved Fred Schultz. Well, I took my wife. We were going to a tournament in Chicago, and we flew in to see my brother up in Wisconsin. So I took her to Wisconsin Dells, and I always had the same car. I always got a white town car with a red interior. No matter where I traveled, that's what I rented. So anyhow, I take her to Wisconsin Dells to go on the boat trip. We come back to the car, and they had stolen absolutely everything. And my poor wife, I made her leave. She had a charm bracelet that we collected all around the world whenever we traveled, and I made her leave all of it in the car. They took absolutely every bit of it. So anyhow, make a long story short, they took my mag that I had that I played with for years. And then I got a call about 2.5 years ago, that somebody up in Canada had bought a mag up there, and it was the actual mag that got stolen down here. Some girl bought it up there. So I contacted her, and I told her, I said, I says, I'll buy it. I says, whatever you paid for it, let me know and I'll buy it. And then she texted me back, and she goes, is this yours? Is this a Fred Schultz mag? And I text her back. I go, yeah, let me know what you want for it. And I have never heard anything from her again. That was it.
Those things
so
happen.
the barrel that he got looks like one of the barrels, because I had 3 mags in that bag. 3 mags, and I had my Mike Cassidy, my Golden Phantom marker that he made for me. They stole that. So
anyway, the reason I was asking you about that barrel is if you have one that's open that you've used, you can get it freak board so you can start using it again. Oh,
I got them that screw it. They made them for everything. Joe West made them for auto mags.
Right.
Made it for the auto cocker.
Well, I get that. But they'd all be, I'm guessing, at best 688, and paint will just fall out of that.
Yeah, you can't use them anymore.
You can get, if you've got one that's opened that you've been using already, get it freak board, and then you can just put freak inserts in it, and then you'll be able to use your old barrel on your new guns.
I got another one. I've never even shot them, because usually when I get the markers now, I get the barrels with them. I just use the barrels, so. But yeah, I've got one. Let me grab one real quick. Go ahead and talk to each other.
Oh, do I have to? Do I have to talk to Andy? Really?
No, you don't want to talk to
Andy. I've got cookies, and you don't have any.
Are those maple?
No, they're mini, and they got like little M&Ms in them.
But they're not the maple ones, so I don't care.
No, I've got those over there.
Right, and I got the biscuits and gravy over here. I think we're going to have to do an exchange for some maple cookies for some biscuits and gravy.
I can just see myself getting some sort of an old nice.
That's one right
Very
there.
Cool. Yep.
And then I got, this is one like it's, this is a mag one right here.
Yeah.
And then this guy here, check out that view loader.
Very cool.
Must be from that guy Dave Bell that plays on the band.
Yeah. It's one of the, I got one of the very first ones actually, but it's not in this kind of condition. But this guy here is one that I used during tournaments back in the day.
Nice.
So yeah, it's anyhow, make a long story short, that's what I'm gonna send to Paul Farrell because I think he's a terrific guy. So I try to do my little parts too, just like Andy does. I think it's cool as hell. Let's see, what Damon Baker say? Anyone come up to lively event at Splat Action in September? Saw him at Super Game. Yeah, I was going to go up to Super Game, but I just didn't want to drive 9 hours, man. I had so much going on down here.
I thought you flew first class everywhere, Fred.
I did, but I was going to drive up there. And I do because I have to take my wife. So, you know, I got to fly her that. Plus, I'm old. I don't like walking too far back to the plane. So,
you can put her back in the coach. You'll be fine.
Yeah. You know, I got a real quick one for you. We're going over to play a tournament in France. I'm going over there with Tom K. Had Airgun Designs back in the day. He was over there, and they had an
Nobody's
amateur
ever heard of Tom K.
Yeah, I know. They had an amateur tournament over there, and they were allowed one pro. So he got a hold of me. He goes, "Would you play as a pro?" And I go, "Yeah, no problem." So I get my wife and I tickets, and I asked my daughter, Jessica, I go, "Do you want to go with us?" She goes, "No." She was in ballet, and she goes, "No, I've got a dance recital, so I'm going to stay here with Grandma and go to the dance recital." I go, "Okay, no problem." So, you know, I get my wife and I tickets. 2 days before we leave, she wants to go. So I call up TW. This is a true story too, I swear to God. So I call up TWA because, you know, I flew them guys every week. So I had like a gazillion miles. So I call up TWA and there's no first class seats anymore. They're all sold out. But they had one at the very beginning of coach, the very front row and coach in the middle because it was a 747. So I go, "Okay, I'll go ahead and take it." So we take my daughter and she goes, "Well, I'll sit up here with Mom." I go, "No." I said, "Mom and I are going to sit together." "Sorry, babe." So anyhow, so she's sitting in the back. Well, I eat my dinner and everything up there, and then I get this really cool dessert. So I told my wife, I said, "I got to give this to my daughter." So I walk back to her. I pull the curtain out. My daughter's sitting there, and I go to hand her this dessert, and I look up, and there's 300 people giving me the stink eye. I will never forget that. I set that dessert down and slid the curtain back. So, yeah, I get to fly. And then we get over there, right? This is a true story, I swear to God. We get over there, and we go into the motel where we're staying. We're all staying in the same hotel. And I go, "Yeah." It says, "You have a reservation for Schultz?" And she goes, "Yes, we have your suite for you." And I go, "Oh, there's supposed to be 2. And she goes, "We've only got 1. I've only got you for 1. And I go, "Well," I says, "I need another one." She goes, "We're booked solid." And I go, "Well, I got my daughter." And she goes, "Okay." So anyhow, they give her a room. So the next morning we're at breakfast, and you remember Paul Tournay and them guys from and anyhow, yeah, they were from RP Share and stuff. So anyhow, Paul Tournay and my wife and my daughter and I and Tom K and a couple other manufacturers were sitting down having breakfast. And so Tommy looks over at me and he goes, "So Freddy, after we're done," he goes, "Well, meet in the lobby later on." I said, "Yeah, because we're gonna go to the Eiffel Tower and hang out and stuff like that." And he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Well, we'll go ahead and meet in the lobby later on then." And he looks at the other 2 guys that were from this other company and he goes, "So you guys gonna meet us in the lobby?" And the guy goes, "Well, we could have, but we got here and somebody took our room." And my wife and daughter and I had just my pancakes like this, and I just set them down, and my wife and daughter look at me. They had bumped them 2 guys, the 2 manufacturers. True story, I swear to God. And they bumped them bumped the room and gave it to my daughter.
Yeah.
So Fred,
I'm surprised you didn't go over on the Concorde.
Do you know what the difference
I wanted
between
to ride that so bad? God, but never got to.
Do you know what the difference between that story and now is?
I'm listening.
Back then, when you opened the screen, all 300 people could see you and give you the stink eye. But now, when you're doing that monologue, it's only one way, and you can't see everybody giving you the stink eye for the long monologues.
Yeah. Oh, you're a funny guy, man. TWA, old school. You know, Damien, I got to tell you, I flew TWA. I flew probably, matter of fact, I had a couple 100,000 miles. I took my wife, my mom, my mother-in-law, and my two daughters. We flew to Chicago, had dinner, spent the night, and then flew back home. All on mileage. So I flew. I would walk into the ambassador lounge, and they knew me by my first name. I was constantly on an airplane going someplace. I was home in 12 years. I was home probably 8 days a month. So, you know, it's, I had a kid one time go up to me, goes, man, he goes, I would love to be just like you. And I go, you know what? I said, I'm away from home all the time. I'm eating in restaurants all the time. I said, I'm in motels. I said, I don't get to hang out with my family. And he just looked at me and goes, oh my God, that's so cool.
That's how I want to live right now.
Until you live, yeah, but until you do it, man, I got to tell you, I was going to write a book because, you know, I've got proof of everything I say too. That's one thing I love. But I've had so many different experiences, good ones and funny ones, and not so good ones. And I've seriously been thinking about writing a book, my memoirs, before I finally check out here, because I've just
I can
had
only
so much
imagine
happen.
how many books it'll take for you to do the monologue,
I know,
the intro. Like it'll be like an encyclopedia of before you actually get to the book.
Volumes, because it'll take the first volume just to get the introduction, aka monologue.
Oh my God! So would you guys like pass notes before you come on, or what's the deal?
Yep.
It'd be like those old guys that used to go door to door selling encyclopedias, Steve. Except we'd be knocking on doors like, hey, do you want to buy the Fred Schultz edition?
Oh my God, you're killing
our
me.
Lord and Savior, Fred Schultz.
You guys are killing me.
Put that thing on Amazon, they'll have to use one truck just to deliver the whole thing to
you know what's so cool though about paintball, and you know, this is something I always talk about. When you go to a tournament or you go to a big game or even you go to any paintball event that's not where you live, you get to see your friends. And if it wasn't for the sport of paintball, first of all, you wouldn't even know these people. And second of all, you would not get to see them like you do because you don't live right next door to everybody. So, you know, to me, paintball, when I was younger, it was all about, you know, it was all about winning because, you know, my sponsors, the people, everything about it was always about winning because I was always under a big piece of glass, living in a glass house. Now do I get excited to play? Absolutely. Do I get more excited knowing that I'm going to see my friends? Double absolutely. To me, the win is when I get there and I get to hang out with everybody.
Absolutely.
Playing paintball is just like the cherry on the sundae, but the sundae is my friends, period.
Don't let him distract you, Steve. I have to play for him on the band. He's excited just to be able to tie his shoes and make it down to the hotel lobby.
What's this team you're talking about? I've never heard of it in my entire life. I don't know what that is.
I'm actually excited when all of them make it down to the lobby because that means at least the team's awake. Because there's always that, like, who's going to oversleep? Who's got to get up, make their Geritol, get their dentures locked in?
See, that's what sucks for me. That's what sucks for me. I go back east, and they go, all right, man, we'll be out there at 6:30. Well, guys, where I come from, that's like 3:30 in the morning. You know, I might get up at 6 and turn my TV on in bed, but I don't roll out till 9:30. You know, I'm like, my
That's
wife
why you
gets
go to
up,
bed
makes
early.
me coffee. I do. I go to bed at 2 every night. Yeah, I do. I only sleep about 3-4 hours a night. That's all I have ever since I've been in the Navy. Period. So, but it is what it is. So, guys, I got to tell you, I've definitely enjoyed you two being on tonight. Steve, I haven't seen Steve in a long time. Andy, I'm really looking forward to coming and seeing you. And, hopefully we can, I hope everybody that watches us throughout the course of the week, if you're even close, within 5-6 hours driving distance of dynamic paintball in Colorado, take the 29th and take the time and drive over and hang out with us. Even if you're not going to play, come and contribute a little, show people, create more excitement. The more excitement we create for the LA Remember Foundation,
Well, keep in mind,
the
it's
more
not just
Andy's
Remember.
going to be able to do. Well, yeah, you do a lot for a lot of other
the
people
autism.
too.
Yeah, no.
So,
Mike,
it's for all of it together. It's what we're trying to do is we just want to bring people in and like I say, even if you're not going to play, come and donate a little bit. If every paintball player, and this is the hard part, if every paintball player in the United States, let's call it that all by itself, would donate $5. $5.
Sure.
You know how many people you could actually help that don't play paintball, that do not have the ability to help themselves? $5. And just real quick, just like Ross Alexander is doing that bicycle thing. I don't know if you guys know about that, but he's riding his bicycle for lung disease. Anyhow, and so hey, I donated $50 to it, and it's just everybody that does something like this. It's not like, hey, can you donate to me so I can have a great birthday party? It's nothing like that. It's for people that cannot get out there and do this themselves, period. That's why I'm hoping that even if you can't make it, you can donate to the LA Remember Foundation. And Andy, tell them how they can do that.
Well, that's easy. Just go to the LARemember.org and click on the donate button. Boom, done. You take it right there.
Are you still doing an auction at this event coming up?
I've got some items for auction.
I've got that shirt. I got the band shirt with all the signatures, Bud Orr, everybody.
In there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And I promised you last year, but I wasn't able to do it. So this year, in the very near future, I'm going to run that jersey up to the post office and send it to you. And for those of you that don't know, the very first Skyball, I was part of the Leader Goggles factory team. And so if you ever look at the original Skyball, there was a bunch of people that were wearing jerseys that had these electric yellow Z's on them. There was only about I want to say 30 or 50 of these jerseys made ever. And I've got one of them. And so I'm going to be donating that to the LA Remembered Foundation. And if you want it, that was mine. I'll sign it as well. So that's a donation that's going to be going to the auction.
We'll get offline. Just send pictures. You don't have to mail it. Just hold it.
Okay,
but I'll mail it to the winner.
Yeah, I'll take a picture of the shirt too. It's got, you've signed it. Your signature's on it. Mine, Bud Orr, Tim Schloss, Gino signed it. David Bell. I mean, we got some great guys on the band.
It's from an imaginary team. Tim doesn't exist.
Oh, they exist, believe me. And nope. we got some of the greatest players. We got Gio. He owns SC Village. He's part of the band. So yeah, it's a bear. You can't say enough about the great people that are not only on the band, but the people that actually go around promoting the sport of paintball because, you know, I mean, we're a bunch of old shits, man. There ain't no doubt about it. But, you know, I've been doing this for a lot of years, trying to bring paintball to the light to people that don't play it because, you know, you can't go flat. You know, you can't go, what do I want to say, you know, even line. You got to keep going up. And, you know, what you do, flat line. That's the word I was looking for. That damn word flat sucks. But anyhow, those 4-letter words screw me every time.
I got 2 things. I know you're going to be kicking us off really, really soon. So there's 2 things I want to mention. First and foremost, I had to pause the Popular Unknown due to the ice storm, just because I'm not going to say working around the clock. That's an exaggeration, but it sure felt like it because I'm old and carrying vacuums the size of refrigerators up and down 3-4 flights of stairs takes a lot out of me. And I'm going so for the last few months, I've had to just shut it down because people were freezing and I had to help families that were in need. I mean, and work, but we didn't call in sick because there was a lot of people in pain. So the Popular Unknown Paintball podcast will be coming back soon. That's number 1. Number 2 is, Fred, I know I give you boatloads of crap.
I love it.
Your mono. I know you do, but I want to make sure that I say this on the record, on the camera, while we're live. I only do it because I respect the hell out of you. And it's the paintball way. If I wasn't insulting you, I don't like you. If I just whatever, and I'm gone, I don't really have a large opinion. But Fred, I truly respect what you do, everything with the sport, with the show. Like, just, you're a hell of a guy, man. And
I appreciate that.
Shorten up your freaking monologues.
I'll get it down to 14 minutes, I promise.
You do realize that people click at 5, right?
You
do realize killing your audience.
You know what started me? You know Kevin Donaldson, right?
Yeah, I know
Kevin
him.
Master Blaster.
Love that
Kevin
guy
told
too.
me, he's a great guy. I love him too. Anyhow, he told me, he goes, you know, Freddie, he goes, I like it at the very beginning when you do your monologue and you do the news and talk about people and stuff like that. He said, before you bring your guests out, I think that's the coolest thing. So, if you can yell at Kevin. And by the way,
I'm not doing that.
I'll call him right after this.
There's certain people you do not lip off to. Donaldson's one of them. You just don't.
Did you see he shaved?
No.
Yeah, I had him on last week, and he came on. I didn't even recognize him to start with. I'm like, it looked like baby Kev. You know, I mean, it was incredible.
You didn't even get to see him cry when we beat him in St. Louis last year.
Oh yeah, I know it.
I actually have Donaldson's signature right there, and then the other one is Rosie.
There you go. Did you hear what Andy just said?
That Donaldson was crying?
No, we beat the Blasters, and we almost beat the Predators too. I mean, there was less than a minute left, and they only had 4 or 5 guys left when it was done.
Yeah, but the Blasters were so mad they were fighting. We're all pitted together. They're all fighting. We're just looking over at him, and Kevin's just sitting there in the middle of it all with his head down. I had to walk in there and be like, all right, guys, just knock it off for a minute.
Yeah, but that's New York for you, right? Like, they're very passionate, and you gotta love them for it. Like, that's just New York.
He's bringing the Blasters
embarrassing when you lose to the band.
You know what?
Yeah, we were playing pretty good, though. You got to admit, we had Tommy Cole.
To admit anything. It's a make-believe team. It doesn't exist.
Tommy Cole, he was playing with us. So because he's a band member. So it was pretty good. We were rocking, actually. I was doing good until Kenny Stewart made all them damn pancakes. And I sat there right alongside the grill in between games, stuffing down pancakes, man. And then I'm looking around to see who wants to take my place. It's Steve.
You
You got to come
realize
down
you
for
eat
one of these.
pancakes first thing in the morning, so you were doing good until right before the game starts, right? That's
I get it.
You were doing great until
no,
the
he
tournament
kept making
started,
them.
and then all
It
hell
is,
broke.
you know.
No, he
Well,
kept making more because we'd come back from a game and he was just
He
making
did.
more.
Yeah.
Kenny's
And I'm
such
a
a good
light
guy.
eater. Yeah, I'm a light eater. You know, the minute it gets light, I'm eating. So it is what it is. But what a great, great time. I got to tell you, Steve, we got to get you down for this. Especially, I'd really like to see you down for Andy's thing. I think that would be so cool.
I really want to make it.
We're working on it.
But
yeah, let's see what we can do.
And on the plus side, just came out in the news yesterday. The United States government is looking to increase the amount of time that Canadians can spend in the United States per year without a visa. They want to up it from 6 months a year to 8 months a year. So
that's
now
if they don't know you. So, you know, if they know you, you're going to be down to probably 3 days. So change your name, and Andy and I somehow will get you down here.
Well, they don't let you swim across Lake Ontario anymore, unfortunately. There's too much.
You can't swim anyhow. You can't swim anyhow. You'd have to lay on your back and find somebody to paddle you over.
I can swim, and greasing my whole body up with Vaseline so I don't get cold sounds kind of fun. But yeah, no, they can't do it anymore.
Andy sweat now. Stop it.
Just jump on a moose, point him in the right direction, and then he'll run across. And then he'd be like, "No, I was just trying to wrangle this moose, and he carried me across the border." So it's like,
there you go.
Just your curiosity, have either of you two been danger close to a wild moose?
Not a moose, but an elk. But yeah, they're about the same for us.
No, they're not even close.
Oh, elk are pretty bad.
I know. Moose are worse.
Oh, we're talking animal. Yeah. Okay, I thought we were talking large women. I'm sorry.
No, don't get me wrong. There's an elk farm literally about 4 kilometers from my house. Like I'm used to elk, but when you go up into northern Ontario where my cottage is, and there's like moose walking around and they get ticked off, like I've seen moose throw civics into the ditch, like just
they're big.
Just and mean. If it's rut season, I'm out.
Hey, Bullwinkle always got along with Rocky. It's all good.
Between the materials. Yeah, I got you. So, Andy, I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. First of all, I want to thank you so much for coming on, and I'm really looking forward to coming there on the 29th and hanging out with you and everybody is very dynamic.
Well, drop me first so that Andy can plug the Ellie Remembered Foundation.
Well, you can plug it too. You're on the board, fool.
I can.
Okay.
But
well,
you are actual.
Okay. Then, Steve, I appreciate you being on tonight. I'm going to let you be the first to go.
Excellent.
And stay in touch. And, you know, whenever you decide to put the Paintball Podcast Unknown on
popular,
wait a minute. Unknown
Paintball
popular.
Podcast. PUPP pup.
That's what it's okay. I thought it was poop. Popular Unknown Paintball.
Popular Unknown Paintball.
It's not poop.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you're not. Not even a little bit.
So
it's
Steve,
all payback for dragging you for your freaking monologue.
So I'm going to say goodbye to everybody. And when you decide to fire it back up, give me a call. I'd love to be on.
Absolutely. All right. Play with passion, everybody, and keep your paint dry.
Man, it was good to see him
You're
again.
supposed to keep your paint dry. God, I've been doing it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, I know it. But you know, well, anyhow, urinating in your hopper is not the way to fly. But anyhow, so I'm going to let you say goodbye to everybody. And I appreciate you coming on tonight. We got to see if we can find a way to drag Steve down here for the 29th.
We're working on it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. To having you out and some of the others that are joining. And Weezy's coming, and I believe Bud's coming, and B's on the board. So hopefully she'll get there. Trying to get Dan out and everything too. But Anthony from Ugly Paintball is going to be there. So
great.
a little bit got a little bit of some notoriety going on besides just this guy named Fred Schultz. That's okay. We love him.
I love it too.
Yeah, good time. And yeah, get a chance, go to IRemember.org, check out our prom and homecoming thing, and get your local fields involved and wrangle up businesses in the local areas that become sponsors, and let's go out and do some great things for kids and paintball.
I love it. Andy, you have a good evening, my friend.
Hey, you too, Cap.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. Man, I got to tell you, I feel so privileged to know those guys. And all the friends, Damien, you're a good man. You really, really are, too. I'd love you to jump back on the show sometime. I think you're terrific. And I'm not going to jump on a moose. I'm going to have to pass on that. So if you guys get a chance, like I say, a lot of good things coming up, but the closest thing coming up right now is June 29th at Dynamic Paintball in Colorado. And you'll have a great time at a great field and get to hang out with some absolutely terrific people. So everybody, like I say, I just keep promoting paintball. That's what it's all about. And anybody that helps, anybody that jumps in, anybody that makes paintball bigger and better, I'm all for them. I really, really am. So until next Tuesday evening, 6 o'clock Pacific time on Facebook, please, everybody, play hard, play safe, play fair. Get out there and play paintball. All right? Bye now.